Live. Go. Oh, it says we're live. This is always amazing to me. It sneaks up on you. Good evening, good morning, good day, good afternoon. Wherever you are, we're sending you all the best, always. I am Joy Ruffin, and this is Biz to Biz. Grow your business in style. My work is as a style and leadership coach. And so tonight, we're going to meet a guest, a featured guest, who has a fabulous background that she's going to share with us. She goes under the title of being a certified empowerment coach, speaker, and an author. So much to share with you. It's always good when you can show up and when you can arrive here because we know how busy you are. But we want to get right to what we're going to be discussing tonight, which is how we can become unstoppable, get through breakdowns to get to our breakthroughs. That's what we all want, especially during this crazy pandemic. So let me say hello to our guest tonight. Our guest tonight, our featured guest, is Terri Moore. Terri, I have waited a long time to welcome you here because you know that I love women who support, aid, guide other women in love, heart-centered leadership, which is what you're all about. Welcome.
Thank you, Joy. I'm so excited to be here tonight.
You are most welcome because your story and your title that I gave you is really unbelievable. We could start anywhere, but where I want to start is like everybody has heard this. It's very common, yet it's always delivered in a different way. You said that you can turn your mess from your past into your message. And I think that's what you're sharing with us tonight. So how would you like to begin? The stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm so excited to hear. I believe you can turn your mess into a message by discovering who you truly are in life. And so I like to share my story. I came from a dysfunctional family, like many of us have. And basically, I had two alcoholic parents. I had a brother who bullied me. And I heard things such as, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not going to be this or that. So basically, I was raised in a family that told me I was not enough. And I know many, many people have felt that way as well. So fast forward, when I was 27 years old, I thought I met the man of my dreams, only to find out that he had been carrying a very deep, dark secret. He told me he had been in the Marine Corps for 9 years. However, he was in prison for first-degree murder. Talk about your world just shattering like glass. It was just unbelievable. And so basically what happened is after that, I lost my self-dignity, my self-respect. And when he made me go back to the house where he started abusing me even more, then that's where I lost my true identity. I lost my true self. I lost everything. I lost my self-respect. And it took me forever to get back land on my feet. Now, in between all that, I became a full-fledged alcoholic, a drug dealer, and a small drug dealer, let's put it that way. And then I was, I actually became a #1 female pool hustler in the state of Indiana.
Fascinating. Terri, your story is mesmerizing in so many ways. And I want to back up for just a moment because your vulnerability, your honesty, and your truth that you're sharing with us is spellbinding in so many ways because many of us have gone through all kinds of different things akin to what you just described and are not courageous enough to express it. But here's what I want to ask you because we all have our stories and we all deliver them in different ways and share them. But you said something, and I want you to speak to this, and I don't want you to get, but you said he was in prison for all those years and you never knew. How did you not find out? Was it because, as most of us, I've gone through this myself, you just have wool over your eyes and you just don't want to see or hear the truth? How did he keep that secret from you that he was in prison? Are you aware of how that happened now, or are you still not sure about that?
You know, Joy, that's a really good question. I did not know. There was no signs whatsoever. There was absolutely no signs. And he was just a great husband. You know, we were blissfully in love for 3 months and no warning signs whatsoever. It was just like a flip of the switch. He became a different person.
Wow.
So that's what happened there. And it shattered my world for many years after that.
I would think so. That's a very heavy burden that you carried there for a long time. And we're not psychologists, psychiatrists, and all of that. But yet you said there were no signs. I've been there in a different scenario, and there are always signs. We just don't see them, and we choose not to see them. But that's the beauty of where you are now. You've gone so far beyond that. And we both know of a beautiful lady that we have connected with. And she says that you want to be loud and proud in whatever you're doing. And what you're doing now, you need to stand up and applaud and celebrate yourself, because you're working with women to make sure that they take their past, their mess, if it was so, and turn it into their purpose and their goals or what they want in life. So tell us how you came to that. What brought you to deciding that this was what you wanted to do, you had to do?
Sure. Well, after I went through my divorce, and then 3 days later, I was sexually assaulted by a guy at a shopping center that attempted to kill me. Anyway, that's a long story, but that was a really incredible time in my life to go through that. However, all this has driven me and fueled me to be the person I am today and not allow anybody else to walk on me. Now, the other thing is, too, I started a domestic violence organization based on what I just shared with you about being attacked and then going through a domestic violence marriage.
That's what I want to speak to a little bit, because there's so much of that that's so prevalent today. And you know, Terry, in this crazy pandemic that we're all dealing with, there seems to be more of that than ever before, because I'm connected and relate and share with a lot of women and men who are working with women who are confined and having all kinds of issues. So I'm celebrating you for just that. And yet,
thank you.
You said something here that I want to speak to, because we have a mutual, I have a friend that I'd like to introduce you to, because she's all about forgiveness. And I know that that's part of your platform and where you spring from. I'm asking you this question knowing the answer, but I want you to explain it to the people who are going to tune in now and for the replay. Forgiveness is so big. How long did it take you to come to this forgiveness, to forgive yourself and to forgive those who harmed you in ways that you are acknowledging now? What can you share with us about that coming to Jesus, so to speak, type of occurring?
Absolutely. I went on a self-discovery journey over 28 years ago because I was tired of not knowing who I truly was, because I was buried under all these lies of people that told me who I was when I wasn't. And so basically I went on this journey, and on this journey, I found out that I had not forgiven myself for anything. I had built this guilt trip up. And let me tell you something, you can't forgive others when you're not forgiving yourself. You can try, but you're still going to be dealing with that resentment and that bitterness and that fits of rage, you know?
Powerful. But it takes us a while to come to that. And you spoke to something that is my own journey. And that's why I always celebrate women, because I know and understand from so much of what you're sharing with us tonight. You said you went on your self-discovery journey. I went on that journey many moons ago, and Terry, we never leave that journey. We're always on that journey. But if we want to be leaders and be the best that we can be, we have to take that journey. We have to get to knowing and understanding ourselves, which is what you've done. And here's what I want to speak to a little bit, because the work that you do, you talk about this in your little bio to me, those emotional triggers in your journey. Self-discovery. What are those emotional triggers that came to you that you realize now more than ever you had to work with, that was part of your discovery and your journey?
Sure. Emotional triggers are so strong and we don't realize it. And so they can be anger, they can be bitterness, they can be resentment, victimization, they can be guilt, they can be sadness, they can be trust issues. And it goes on and on, but those are the big emotional triggers that I really hone in with my clients now to help them to remove those triggers so they can find their self and to forgive themselves. And the ones that I really struggled with was anger, because I felt like I was abandoned as a child with my mom and dad's drinking. So therefore, that put me into that situation that I had to work through all these emotional triggers in order to get through that final phase of finding my true self.
I like that. I like that. And I like the way you delivered that to us. Here's what we know. Those of us who have taken and are still on this journey of self-discovery, because it really never ends, is that anger connects, and all those other qualities and traits that are emotional triggers that you deliver to us, they go and they align with when you really began to get to self forgiveness. And that first forgiveness is on yourself. Now, this is going to be a question that you are not going to tap dance around, because I know that there are underlying pivotal points that happen for all of us. But when people come to you, and the women that you're coaching predominantly, outside of anger and all the other things, what brings them to you? Is it because they've been abused or sexually violent? What's the number 1, 2, 3 that they come to you that you support them in getting over whatever that might be? What would that be?
Well, first of all, they come to me because they're broken and they're stuck in life. They're stuck in maybe their career, their relationships. They're stuck with themselves and they want to improve themselves. So they hire me as a coach, and then I work with them on I have a 4-step coaching program that's been very successful. But the one thing that I keep hearing, I am a unique coach. Let me try that again. I am a unique coach because all my program is based on my experience. I don't have all these assessments and everything like that. It's just a 4-step coaching program based on my own experience, how I got out of where I am and now becoming the unstoppable woman.
Well, you know what, Terry, what you just said, when it comes to most of them are broken, I like the way you came back to me with that answer, because I know, because I am empathic, that most of us, even with the best upbringing and the home environment, we're broken in some way, one way or another. And our journey, our responsibility is to find out what that is and to progress and move forward. And so when you say that you've created this 4-step program, are you willing? Can you share with us? And I heard what you said, no frilly, fussy kind of stuff, basic, simplistic stuff. What is it that so unique about your 4-step program that you can share with us now? Or if you choose not to, we can leave it and have people guess about it. But what would those 4 steps be, as simplistically as you can share them?
Sure. Number 1, I'm going to help you to clear out the chatter and silence that chatter of things that's been holding you back from people that's got the power over you today, which could be your mom, your dad, your grandmother, ex-spouses. Then the list just goes on and on and on.
Yes.
Then my second step of the program is forgiveness. And Joy, I have such a powerful forgiveness exercise that has changed so many people's lives. And I had a client just on here before I got on here with you, and she did this exercise. She looks and talks differently right now. Tonight, I was like, oh my gosh, who are you? But she feels so much lighter and joyful. And so I'm very, very excited about that. And so the forgiveness part is the next step. And then the third part is empowerment. I'm all about helping people with empowerment. So we're going to look at what low self-esteem is, what high self-esteem is. We're going to look at, probably procrastination, anything that you're dealing with that I can help you in those sessions. That's what we're going to work with. And then the final session is vision. I am a visionary coach. I love to visualize and watch things happen, watch them unfold. And so that's the next step is vision coaching. And then I help them design a vision board for themselves or for their business. And I'm a firm believer in vision boards that make sense and not chaotic.
You know what? All of them are very good. And thank you for sharing them with us, because I know from my limited knowing that they're all much more in depth than what you're sharing. You're giving us the highlights, but they're all major. But the one that really speaks to me, because when you're broken and you have that low self-esteem and all those other things, traits, characteristics that go into that bucket, having vision being able to have that extra, I speak to eagles all the time. I love the eagle mantra, the outlook, the mindset for it, because you're able to see beyond where the people who are coming to you, Terri, can see. And you allow and support them and guide them to being able to see it for themselves. To be a visionary is a great gift. So if you are doing that along with the empowerment and the forgiveness and cutting out the chatter, that's what you need. And you came to this through your own self-discovery journey, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I had a person that when I was working as a founder of Beacon of Hope, my executive coach of the board came to me one day and she says, your time is up here. I've got better things for you to do. And I'm going to cut to the chase. But she went to her whiteboard and she wrote speaker, empowerment coach, workshop facilitator, and best-selling author. And I had no idea why she was writing this. And she goes, do you know why I'm doing this? I said, I absolutely have no idea. And then she said, I see you being all of these. And I go, now what now? It was just a shock when she said that. And I'll tell you why it was such a shock.
But before you tell me why, I miss what she said to you. That wasn't clear. I don't know what it is with this connection. But can you tell us what she said to you that put you in shock? Because I want to hear that. What did she say to you?
Yes, absolutely.
She said?
She told me she saw me being a national speaker, a best-selling author, a radio talk show host, a conference leader, and I think I may have said this already, but a radio talk, a workshop facilitator. And Joy, within 6 months, I was doing all of it except for the best-selling author, and that happened 3 years ago. I know. So she believed in me.
Well, I've always said none of us do anything alone. And no matter how gifted and great and talented and all the other things, attributes that are on the positive level that you can label one with, we all need another person, second, third eye, as a guide, an accountability person who can see beyond what you can see. We all need that. And so that's what you found. That's what she gave you.
Exactly.
And now you're doing that for others, right? You're doing that for others. So I really like that.
She shocked me. She literally shocked me that day.
And how many years ago was this, Terri? Because you've been at the work that you're doing here for quite a while. And you mentioned that you were the former co-founder and executive director of this center. Now, I heard former, but what is it that you were doing there? Tell us a little bit about that before we go on to something else.
Sure. I was the executive director and the founder of this center. And so I went around and spoke and, raised money for the center. But I loved getting with the victims, and the board wasn't happy about that. But I don't care, because I really wanted to get involved in their intimate life. And so they would come into my office and we would speak. And I'd be very aggressive with them about, if you don't get out of this situation, I'm going to watch your body being carried out in a body bag on TV. And I don't want to see that. So you need to listen to what I have to say.
Every time you hit and touch,
because I've been through it.
Every time you hit and touch the table, we're hearing all the sounds that you're putting through, but it's okay because your message.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay because everything you touch, the sound system is very sensitive. But let me just say this to you. The former co-founder, executive director of this group, was the woman who gave and shared with you this vision for you. Was she there, or she came before or after that? The woman who told you that you were going to be a speaker, you were going to write a book, blah, blah, blah. Was she before or after you became the co-founder and executive director of a company that you're no longer with, but you helped to facilitate and get on into the stratosphere?
It was during. Because she was my executive coach.
I think it's great. And the work that you're doing, we're going to talk a wee bit more about that. Terri, I'm going to ask you to be quiet and put you in the green room. I'm going to say a quick little howdy do to the audience here and to the people who come for the replay. And I'll be back with you in just a second. Be quiet and don't go anywhere. We have much more to talk about. Stay there. Don't go. You know, this system that we have here, I don't know what it is, but every time you touch boom, 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 everything comes through. It's not as much of a distraction once it plays back as I might hear it in my earbuds. But let me say this to you. I had a master class. It's over, it's gone. But I do this every 6 to 8 weeks. And as soon as I get a date, I'll be doing it and broadcasting it again to you. But here's what I want you to do, though. I want you to go and join my group, Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, because once you're a member, you're going to be aligned with all the different things that we're doing there. 2 podcasts a week in the Clubhouse, which is a new platform. If you're not on it, ladies and gents, get there because it's a great platform. That's how I met this lovely lady here. And in conjunction with that, we're also going to be doing every 3rd Thursday of the month, which is rather new. I think it's 2 or 3 times out of the gate, so to speak. And I've just contracted to have speakers come in and do a lot of things that we'll be doing. It's going to take time to develop and have it blossom, but it will happen because we're behind it. So that's every 3rd Thursday. But once you join this group, you'll be notified of all the different things that we're doing. And if you signed up for the masterclass, I sent the replay through because we had some technical issues, you know me and technology, but yet it's not too late for you to come aboard at some great pricing. And it's a program and a format that's going to be good for you regardless. Even if you're a fashionista, it's going to be good for you. And I'm also going to ask you to make sure that you connect with Terri. If you know of anyone who could use and utilize the great services that she offers, please make sure you connect. And now I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about a lot of different things, Terri, that you're doing. Tell us what gets you. I know that you love the work and you feel called to do the work. It's a passion. And I get these standardized answers sometimes, but what lights you up most with the work that you're doing for the women and the men? I should have asked you because I read through this and I'm getting the feeling, is it just for women that you're working with or are you working with men as well? I know that you did the work in the prison. Yes.
I'm working with men too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I want to talk to the work that you did in the prisons because I worked and volunteered before this pandemic with juvenile delinquent girls. And they had a little boys and a girls center, and I would rotate back and forth. So I know what that's about. But what is it that working with women that lights you up the most? Because you know you are, and accept and embrace this title that I'm giving you. You are a light warrior. You are bringing light and enlightening others to get to their path and glory. So what lights you up the most?
I tell you what lights me up the most is knowing that any woman that I can get in front of, I hopefully and prayerfully can make an impact on them and change their life. I am very passionate about helping individuals at any age make that peace with their past because I know what it's like to be carrying those things around. So every day I get up and I know that I can empower someone or enlarge their territory to make them a better person. It just fires me up. It just totally fires me. And the other thing is getting on stage. Getting on stage is one thing I love. I love getting on stage and sharing my story.
Well, and so you should. It's a great story. And all of us women, we have to hear it over and over again because I only speak for me, but I've met zillions of women everywhere, here, there, and yonder. And we all have our story. And we all have that part of us that we began to share that's not the best part of us, but we know we have to open it up and share it because others have connected and related to it as well. Here's something that I think we need to talk a little bit about before we say so long for now, and that is the book that you wrote. Share with us a little bit about that because you're writing now a second book, and the title has that unstoppable in it. And that's a word. I'm in a quiet way a wordsmith, and I love words because they are impactful, not to impress, but they express so much of everything. Right. But that unstoppable, tell us about the first book and the second book of what you're going to be putting out there so people can be on the lookout for that. Share with us the first book, how you wrote that and what that's about. And now that you're working on the second book, share with us about that.
Sure, absolutely. My first book is called Face to Face with God, My Best Friend. And it's dedicated to God because I believe with all my heart, he saved my life, not once, but twice, but many, many times. and I dedicated that book to him. And then the book's about having breakthroughs. I talked about my story and what I went through and how I can help you get out of those situations. But
Yes.
it's just chock full of tips and tricks. And then also, it's not a religious book. It's a spiritual self-improvement, self-development book. My second book that I am in the process of writing is, I'm so excited. The title is going to be Stories of Unstoppable Women Living Our Best Life Now. And this is going to be a devotional, and I'm going to have many of my former clients write devotionals and tips and tricks in the book. And we're going to get this published hopefully in 2022. Yes.
Well, when you're ready to do that, I have a great outlet for you that is going to be great, because there's so much to offer you. Because what I heard, and it's firing you up, and I feel that passion and that drive that you have, Terri, and it's a good thing. You love the work you're doing because you like it when you see the light up in someone else's eyes, because you know when you've been there and you know what it is to be broken and yet to get yourself back on track through all the mess that you went through. And the ability to do that with the 4 keys that you have, that's a gift that you've been given. And how did you narrow down, I suppose after all the work that you did, Terri, on yourself with many other mentors, coaches, consultants, guides, whatever verbiage you want to give them, messengers, how did you condense, concise down to these 4 key, paramount, major elements that you're sharing with people that you're supporting to get to their best self? How did you come to that? Did you just dream? Did it come to you through application? Share with us a little bit about that. Do you understand what I'm asking you? Of course you do.
I do. My 4-step coaching program just came from a visualization, from visualizing it one night. Because I know there's lots of great coaches out there. They have so much paperwork and so much homework. And I just wanted to sit with my clients. And the one thing that I feel that I stand out uniquely, and I've had testimonials on this, I share my story with them. Anytime that we're talking and I feel like something that's coming in my life, even at the present time, I'll share with my clients. I'm very vulnerable with my clients, very, very vulnerable. And that's one thing they love about coaching with me.
Well, you know what? Of course they do, because I met you on one meeting and then we connected because you're a proactive woman, and you and I connected. We have that same vibe. And what's really great, Terri, is that you are vulnerable and you're relatable and approachable. And that in itself is a gift. You don't hide. You don't try to cover up or conceal anything about you. You're like an open book. And that's why that mirror is so important when you're working with people. You want them to be able to see the beauty in themselves, as I do. A different avenue, a different scenario, but the underlying end result is the same. You want people to stand in their greatness and be all that they're called here to be, right? I love it. I just love it.
Absolutely.
And I am praising you, commending you, celebrating in every way that I can. Time flies here, and we've covered a lot quickly, but I want to leave with this. You said that there are the 4 steps, the 4 keys that you use to help and support people to get to be on the road to their own self-discovery and best self. So share with us whatever you want to as a parting impact, whatever jewel you want to share, whatever call to action you have for people out there so that they can connect with you. And while you're doing that, Terri, I'm going to run across your email and your website so that they can connect with you. So the stage is yours once again, whatever you want to share.
Okay. I want to share with the audience that there's 2 things that could be happening here. One, you could be at the point where you're too fearful to make peace with your past. You're in a comfort zone. You're in that complacency. Or 2, you don't know where to begin. Okay. You don't even know that you've got stuff buried underneath all the stuff that people have told you that you are. And I just want to let you know that I can help you. I can almost guarantee that you will have breakthroughs with my coaching program. My end result is to get you to love that person back in the mirror and give yourself a loud and proud 10. No matter what is going on around me, whether I have gray hair or, baggy eyes or whatever. I'm getting older, and that's just the fact. But I can still look in the mirror and give myself a loud and proud 10. And I want you to be able to do that. So I have a offer. First of all, I offer 45-minute complimentary sessions, okay? My second offer I want to mention is I have a great coaching program discount. Not only that, I'm going to give you a signed copy of my book, which is a high price on Amazon. And then on top of that, I want to make sure that you are first in line to get my workshop series that you can apply for through Eventbrite. It's called Stories of Unstoppable Women. I do this the third Tuesday of every month. And it's absolutely free. All you have to do is just sign up. That's all you have to do.
I love it, Terri. You've given a lot, and I'm sure that people will connect with you at some point in time. Let me just say that don't stop. Don't stop. Become as you are unstoppable, because the work that you're doing is so valued and so needed by so many of us. And I'm always going to be at your side, celebrating and pushing you onward. And I know it's a mutual admiration society. Thank you for being here. I'm going to put you in the green room, and I'll be with you in just a second. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy.
You're more than welcome. Bye. You're more than welcome. Listen, the work that she's doing, let's celebrate, let's applaud, let's praise, because it's so needed. And all of the things that she's offering you, just touch base with her as I scroll through, as I did her email, her website, her number, and her name. You can't forget it. I forgot to mention to you, pop in the word biz, B-I-Z, where you'll be delivered your complimentary booklet, which lots of tips on how you interview, whether you're the interviewer or and then how you can become the best person so that you are out and about like Terri is, constantly being called forward to be a speaker. And that's what you want to be. Maybe not. But if you do, that's a booklet that will benefit you in many, many ways. And let me say, it's always good to be with you. When you can show up, I'm grateful. I know how busy we all are. So be and stay well. We no longer, most of us, have to wear the mask. But when you're out and about, still be aware, stay your distance, and be safe, and be mindful so that you can be of service to others, as Terri is doing right here and now with both men and women. I'm wishing and sending you always the very, very best, and look for me like tomorrow night for sure. Same time, same station. Be and stay well. All the best. So long for now. Cheers.